The staff of the state grade and CBC, GDF, and many volunteers went to the streets during the COVID-19 to promote awareness to let people know why we should be friendly to migratory birds and what we can do. The next slide shows some of the typical measures, including we have formed a standardized process to rescue those wanderbirds. This is slide typical measures of Tianjin Action Project. On this picture to show we combine technique innovation with protection and conservation together, like to install some bird protection shield and to install some artificial net on the high power tower. We can see the first picture and the second picture. We can see there are some nets on the top of the great tower. And we trained many people, including general public volunteers and also the state grade maintenance workers staff, to let them know how to do when it comes to bird nesting. And we established some bird rescue station. Yeah. And here are some outcomes of the project of Tianjin Action Project, protecting migratory species. Due to the time limit, I just quickly go through it by some numbers. Yeah, the population of the Oriental white storks, the first picture is a species, has grown from less than 3,000 in 2015 to more than 9,000 in 2021. The number of which passing through Tianjin has increased from less than 1,000 in 2015 to more than 5,000 last 2 years. 10 large-scale events and more than 100 small-scale exchanges, training, and volunteer service are organized. Nature education lectures 80 times held 1 year, reaching more than 30,000 people. Okay, thank you for. If you have any questions, you can email on me and the volunteers of CBC GDF. Thank you. And the next session is for the keynote speech, and we are honored to invite some experts today to make keynote speeches and share more insightful and professional thoughts, ideas, and experience. First of all, let's welcome Dr. Rihanna Nevin, the Senior Policy Manager of Climate, Energy, and of BirdLife International, to make a keynote speech. Thank you. Welcome.
So it was very loud in my face. Firstly, thank you to our esteemed host, the China Biodiversity Conservation and Green Development Foundation, for hosting this really important event and inviting the other distinguished guests on our panel here today. So it's clear that we're all gathered here at this COP and faced with the multifaceted challenges, and Ian, you touched on this in your speak as well, of bringing together, meeting the global energy demand to meet the Paris goals and keep 1.5 degrees alive. At the same time, in plenary today, we heard Simon Steele from the UNFCCC talk about the need to phase out fossil fuels and that this must be done in a just and equitable way. But at the same time, we're also faced again with the challenge of seeing an ever-increasing loss of nature and meeting the new targets under the Kunming-Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework, in which China and the Chinese biodiversity community were critical in making happen and played such a crucial role. So as part of this, BirdLife International, their 2022 State of the World's Birds report, found that 49% of bird species worldwide have declining populations, and many species at risk of extinction. 34% of the world's bird species are at threat from climate change, and 18% are at threat from energy production and mining. We know that these birds are being threatened by habitat loss, by fragmentation and degradation, pollution, disturbance, and collision with infrastructure. So we know that when renewables are poorly planned, when they're not designed well, when they're not sited in the right place, or have inadequate supporting legislation, governance frameworks, regulations, and monitoring, they can have extensive impacts on biodiversity. And this is not obviously what we want to see. And this is for both local and migratory species. So it's clear that our actions and progress to meet the Paris goals are not enough. We all know this. We're seeing competing environmental protection laws, competing with the rapid rise of renewable energy, which we obviously all want to see. But it doesn't have to be the case that these compete. We know that there are challenges and we know what the solutions are. And one of these examples is the Convention on the Conservation of Migratory Species of Wild Animals, or the CMS, has established a multi-stakeholder energy task force as an outstanding example of delivering on these challenges. It was brought together in 2016 at the CMS Convention and brings together CMS parties, key international financial institutions such as the World Bank and many regional development banks, including the Asia Development Bank, specialized government agencies, international organizations, institutions, researchers, international and national NGOs, including the China Biodiversity Conservation and Green Development Foundation, who invited me here today. So it's clear that the CMS Energy Task Force is a vital platform in bringing together and facilitating best practice, technical guidance, engagement of the relevant stakeholders to reduce that mortality across species and other negative impacts. We're making sure that the attention is coming to the forefront of renewable energy developers, governments, and making sure that the grid and infrastructure is developed in the right way and minimizing the impact on biodiversity that we know we can do. So to underscore the relevance of this initiative, and especially in this climate space, we know that if renewable energy sites were just developed in a place where purely for maximum energy production, 11 million hectares of natural habitat would be lost globally. Perversely, this would release almost 415 million tons of carbon and have the reverse impact of trying to meet our Paris Agreement goals. So it's clear that the appropriate siting, the right tools, spatial planning, design, operations, and technology, we can do this in the right way, and the Energy Task Force is there to do that. I'm now going to play a video which will tell us a bit more information on the Energy Task Force.
The global energy demand is expected to rise 30% by 2040. Meeting this target while fighting climate change means an increase in renewable energy. However, transitioning to renewable sources of energy, such as wind and solar, could negatively impact migratory species and their habitat. As an example, more than 300,000 birds could be killed annually in Canada and the US by ill-planned wind turbines. Migratory species are an integral part of nature and provide important functions such as pest control, pollination, and seed dispersal, and generate millions of dollars and jobs from a variety of sectors. Over 11 million hectares of natural land and more than 1,500 threatened species could be impacted by renewable energy infrastructure development. CMS, the Convention on the Conservation of Migratory Species of Wild Animals, is an environmental treaty of the United Nations that established the Energy Task Force in 2015 to reconcile renewable energy and wildlife conservation. The CMS Energy Task Force is a platform where governments, multilateral environmental agreements, investors, researchers, and NGOs come together to share information, establish best practices, and promote innovative and responsible solutions. It is possible to achieve the goals of the Paris Climate Change Agreement while protecting migratory species and their vital ecosystem services. Together, clean energy and thriving migratory species mean a healthier future for people and nature. Learn more about the CMS Energy Task Force and how to join it by visiting our website.
Yeah, so this video has shown that it's clear that the multi-stakeholder character of the Energy Task Force makes it really possible to work alongside those energy producers and make cost-effective solutions delivered in the right way with public and private investment. We can do this and make sure that there's positive benefits for biodiversity on the ground and minimal impact. This is just one of the examples of cross-sectoral leadership as a solution to deliver on those global goals for climate, biodiversity and sustainable development. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rihanna. Thanks for your wonderful presentation. And the next session will be the panel discussion themed on the dual meaning of green, low carbon, and life. We're honored to invite the following guests. First, Dr. Zhao Mengqi Alyssa Wang from the University of Oxford, CEO of Bolton International Consulting Company. Yeah, please. And Wenjie Fu, Secretary General of Chongqing Low Carbon Association, and Ms. Xiaoyi Duan, co-founder of Impactopia, and Web 2.5 Global Philanthropy and Social Impact. We can try the microphone.
Hello? Yeah, it's working. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Alyssa and Professor Fu, and could you give me some very short introduction of two of you?
Hello, everyone. My name is Alyssa Wang, and I'm from the University of Oxford MBA program. I have previous working experience in the World Bank, in energy renewable instruction, and also I work for the Brookings Institution and focus on the renewable energy and so on. And right now, I'm really focused on the young generation impact, social impact in the new renewable energy and some new resources.
Hello everyone. I'm Wenjie Fu. I'm from China Chongqing Low Carbon Association. I am interested to promote and educate to the teenager in low carbon lifestyle. That's all.
Okay, thank you. Because this is in the IUCN Pavilion, and the whole venue is themed around nature. In our previous report, we discussed about the conservation between the smart grid and the environment. Looks like China State Grid they gave the presentation for the bird night with a smart grid tower, so it's quite good. So my question is, in your work or research, are you also addressing the climate change, protecting the environment, or enhancing the biodiversity? Oh, hello. Could you give us some very short? Okay, you can use this microphone.
I'm Aurora Duan, co-founder and CEO of Impactopia. It's such a pleasure to meet you all tonight and seizing the wonderful opportunity to share with you my insights. Yeah.
Okay, so I have a question. The first question is, in your research or work, is there any addressing with the climate change, protecting the environment, and enhancing the biodiversity? Maybe you can think about it, and maybe Alisa, can you be the first? Be the first. Oh no, they haven't. They haven't. So maybe she will be the first. It's okay.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So it's from my experience, because I spent 11 years in United States, so it's quite different in United States company. Every summer in United States, the room is very cool and people use a lot of air conditioner. I reported to the government more than 3 times about if we want to do it and to control the climate change, we need to reduce it to the people to just reduce the air conditioner and to try to use new energy. And that is a long, a distant way, because people used to do that. This kind of a behavior, people say, oh wow, it's kind of like a working environment. If you reduce that and people feel, well, oh, you want to save money for that. So it's a long journal for education and to tell from the government officer and also the students and also for the people, normal people, to tell them, okay, you do a little bit of action and then you can save the world a little bit more. So that is why there are a lot of NGO organization right now try to do a lot of public speaking and the gender speaking to convince people to try to use public transportation and try to not just one person in the one car. Maybe you can take your neighbor, your friends together and to do a little bit step by step, changing people's behavior. And that is quite, and I think in China it's a different way, we don't have so many, we have so horrible traffic, so people choose public transportation. That is another way to actually to reduce the carbon emission. That is a great point, right? Yes.
Last year, we throw new major promotional and educational activity. We encourage citizens to adopt a low carbon lifestyle, improved resource utilization efficiency, and reduce their burden on the environment. Thank you.
Can you hear me? Yeah. So the question is, what's the synergies between sustainability and climate change about what I have been doing? Yeah. Actually, just want to do a brief introduction of my project. Yeah. Impactopia is the all-in-one global philanthropy and social impact platform powered by blockchain. We use this platform to try to help all of the NGOs around the world connect donations transparently and efficiently with crypto and fiat. On the other hand, we also connect all of the impact makers, donors, companies, foundations, even governments together to build a bridge, build exclusive communities for them, where all of the impact makers inside share the same social cause, for example, sustainability, education, humanitarian, etc. So to reply to this, answer this question, actually we are always collaborating with many NGOs. For now, we are connected with more than 1.2 million NGOs around the world, in the US, in Africa, in EU, in Asia, etc. And many of them are working on, consistently working on sustainability. So we always help all of the NGO partners promote awareness, help more people to get to know them, to support them financially or with human resources, with some other resources of assistance. Yeah, right. That's the first part. Second part is we are launching a blue carbon foundation with several Pacific islands. The idea is to plant corals on the Pacific islands. So with the climate change, all of the side effects and the rising sea levels. So there are more and more islands, and even some cities are threatened to disappear. Yeah. So that's why we want to act to solve this problem. We want to plant some corals. Corals can be regarded one of the crucial elements in the ocean, and it can support strongly the ecosystem. So we want to plant this, and then it can also maintain and improve the biodiversity for the ocean. That's the first point. At the same time, we are also trying to, since the coral can well store carbon, so it can create much more carbon sink. That's a good, sustainable and resilient business model, and system for the residents on the island. So we can do both sides and even create a more sustainable tourism for the islands to attract more people. Once people get there, they will realize that's some problem to solve. So people can work together, collaborate, make more impact, inspire each other. So, yeah, and we're gonna do more together.
Thank you very much. And the second question is an expert question. The first is for the Secretary General, Professor Fu. As the head of Chongqing Low Carbon Association, how do you see the Western country industry and social organizations leveraging international cooperation to drive green low carbon innovation in response to climate change?
Chongqing Low Carbon Association serves as a communication bridge between the government and the enterprise. The association should strengthen communication, should strengthen with international organizations in various international conferences by learning from international excellent experience. Activity organize green and low carbon salon from academical symposium and other activities in Chongqing to promote local exchange in green and low carbon industry. Thank you.
Rory, yeah. And the question is, because we know you are a co-founder, so from what perspective does the Impactopia aim to help society achieve low carbon and impact? And what are your recommendations for the different society and society or social section in light of the current climate change scenario?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Actually, to be honest, we are always working on promote awareness on carbon emission reduction, energy transition, everything. But the truth is, I mean, the climate continues to evolve. It never, stopped. So here is still some other things we also need to pay attention. The most crucial part, by my side, is the climate adaptation, which means I mean, from the government side to companies and even to individuals, everyone needs to be conscious of we are facing challenges. It can be consistent. We need to train ourselves. We need to accept always, education, to learn more, to make more preparations, to prevent some sudden natural disasters and even systemic risks. So, from this part, governments need to play the vital role. They need to give us more guidance and more training sessions, resources. On the other hand, for the developed countries, need to take more responsibility in the world to support more developing countries. Because once facing all of the challenges of the climate change, always, the developing countries, without adequate resources, even the basics, the food, the water, the education, healthcare, they don't have. So we can't talk too much about the climate adaptation. They don't have much budget or energy for that. So that's why all of the developed countries need to pay for that. And during the Paris Agreement, all of the development countries are all agreed on one thing. They will pay for $100 billion in 10 years to help all of the developing countries for their impact investing. And at least half of them will go to the climate adaptation to help people to build some sustainable infrastructure of climate. Yeah, thanks.
As Aurora said, for the developed countries and education, I know at least that you have the working experience in the White House, and you are an MBA from Oxford University. Yeah, this time I speak right. Yeah. Yes. Okay. So, what's your opinion? Do you think what's the difference from the, especially for industry? What's the difference between US, UK, and China, and what's the difference in the education?
In the education, for example, I did my MBA program in the University of Oxford. In the MBA program, we also not only for the business, but we also have a OBN club. It's focused on the climate change and energy part. Right now, the energy industry is developing so fast. So many MBA or young generation business leaders, they will do some investment in this area. Also, we want to develop new technology. In Oxford, we also have a department called Climate Change, Policy, and also new technology development. So in the science part, a lot of students already focus on their research, how to do the water recycling, how to do the, control the temperature, reduce the carbon emission. They do a lot of from the technology part to reduce that and develop even new machine. I realized the very interesting student research is they created a machine and to absorb the water from the air, and then the electricity they use in their solar power, and no matter how bad the weather is, you can still have a clean water to drink, and it's recycled water because the water from the air is not from the pipes, and also you can reduce the water in the air, and you have a clean water to drink, and you using the solar power. It's a really very cool machine, and the students try a lot to do a lot of this innovation, new technology. This is part. And since I work in China for a while, I think a lot of a Chinese company, they do the same thing. They have a great cooperation between their top university around the world and try to communicate with its lab. What kind of new technology the university, the college can provide to the society, and then they can do the business, to produce the machine and to make their provide the research foundation to the university, and the student can create some like new technology, innovation technology, and this technology can really support our society. And I participated some like a China innovation investment like a conference. They do a lot. They put a lot of foundation money to educate this PhD student to do the research. I think this is the older society, and no matter it's UK or China, they do a lot of contribution in that way.
Okay, thank you for your wonderful and exciting discussion. Because of time limitation, so we need to finish this session. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you all.
And we have already talked about the education and for the young generation. So for the last session, let's listen to the voice of the youth. We are going to the next part, youth and teenagers as a hope of a green low carbon transition and achieving climate neutrality in the future. So today, they also sent us some pre-recorded videos to showcase their thinking, innovation, and determination. So let's first of all, let's share together the video of Teng Fengliu, Cao Mao, Bi Hui Gong from Wuhan, Britain, China school. Let's play the number 7 video.
Hello everyone, my name is Zhou Chuyuan. I'm a second grade student from Nanhu No. 1 Primary School in Wuhan, Hubei Province, China.
Hi, my name is Wang Xingning. I'm a second grade student from Nanhu No. 2 Primary School in Wuhan, Hubei Province, China.
It is our great honor to participate in this conference today. My friend Alice and I are going to show a creative card game to you. The theme is environmental protection.
Look, I have cards of 4 different colors in my hand: red, yellow, blue, and green.
Firstly, we invite students to write their favorite animals and plants, as well as parks and scenic spots on the yellow card.
Some students write down butterflies, insects, and pandas, while others write down dolphins, whales, and polar bears.
My mother is from Inner Mongolia, so the vast green grassland is my favorite place.
My hometown is Wuhan, and my favorite place to go is the East Lake Wetland Park in Wuhan. My favorite animal is the felis poppers. They are like smiling angels. Unfortunately, they are on the brink of extinction.
While the students are still immersed in joy, we take out the red cards. The red cards pretend the warnings from the Mother Nature. Due to environmental damage, global warming, and more, in the future, we may not be able to see the animals, plants, and beautiful scenery we like.
So we need to tear up the yellow cards. During this process, many students are very sad and even heartbroken.
Next, we take out green cards, which introduce some ways we can do to protect the earth, such as green transportation, garbage sorting, and water conservation. If we put this into practice, our beautiful environment and planet will be recovered. Later on, we give green cards to students and let them write down the plants, animals, and scenic spots they like.
The green cards bring them comfort and joy. Many of them start sharing their own ideas on how to protect the earth, our common home.
This is how the card game works. Through this game, we help them gain a better understanding of the relationship among climate change, environmental damage, and biodiversity. Also, they become aware of the importance of protecting the environment and how to do it in the daily life.
We hope more students can join us and take action to protect our Earth. Thank you.
We have another video, from Wuhan school.
Hello everyone, my name is Liu Chenfeng.
My name is Mao Can.
My name is Gong Bihui.
We are students from Wuhan, Britain, China High School of Hubei Province. It is a great honor for us to participate in this conference. My hometown Hubei Province is located in central China, along the middle reaches of the Yangtze River. Hubei Province has subtropical monsoon climate with distinct 4 seasons. The average temperature in the province ranges from 15 to 17 degrees Celsius. January is the coldest month of the year, and July the hottest. In summer, extreme high temperature reach over 40 degrees Celsius. Hubei Province is known as Province of Thousand Lakes, with over 800 lakes covering an area of over 100 acres. In 2023, Hubei Province experienced a prolonged, widespread extreme heat wave. Faced with the scorching weather, the province managed to promote electricity conservation while still ensuring air conditioning freedom for its residents. How did this happen? It is because in recent years, Hubei Meteorological Service has been committed to the dual carbon goal, focusing on the efficient utilization of wind, solar, and water resources, as well as the safe and stable supply of energy. It has vigorously developed the Energy Meteorological Service and provides support throughout the energy production, distribution, and consumption chain. Taking Huanggang City, Hubei Province as an example, Huanggang has established 18 wind power stations, 60,515 photovoltaic power stations, and 142 hydropower stations. The electricity generation in the first half of this year accounted for a quarter of province electricity consumption.
To enhance the output and load forecasting capability of new energy and empower the development of new energy in Huanggang City, Hubei Meteorological Service has developed the first comprehensive energy meteorological service platform in China, the Huanggang Intelligent Electric Power Dispatching, Meteorological Service, and Decision Support System. The new Energy Meteorological System Department of Hubei Meteorological Service have employed big data and GIS technologies to build predictive models and methods. These models encompass power generation focus, electricity demand and grid supply focus, providing technical support for the operation of power grid dispatching, coordination of supply and demand, and the balancing of electricity production. Thanks to the collaborative efforts of the power sector and the meteorological department, Hubei residents were able to enjoy a cooler and more comfortable summer. As of June 2023, the installed capacity of power generation in Hubei Province has reached 300.65 million kilowatts, with clean energy sources such as hydropower, wind power, and solar energy accounting for 64.4%. In addition to Huanggang City, Hubei Meteorological Service also provides meteorological wisdom into efforts to new energy power plants in Wuxue and Enshi City.
The meteorological technology has significantly fueled the rapid development of new energy sources in Hubei Province. By integrating meteorological wisdom into the efforts of green and low-carbon development, Hubei Meteorological Service and the power sector will continue to work together to tackle the challenges posed by extreme weather conditions. We hope that more people can get to know the achievements of meteorological technology, supporting the development of new energy sources in Hubei Province. That's all for our speech. Thank you.
Thanks for the voice of youth. Finally, we have a very fruitful meeting. A big thank you to all of the speakers for your great insight and experience, especially some of my old friends, Professor Ershun Du and Professor Wen Juandeng. They came from Tsinghua University to IUCN today. Thank you very much. And sincerely wish the audience both on-site and online to continue and to pay more attention to this issue of the green power grid and biodiversity conservation from now on. Thank you very much. Okay, at last, can we have a group photo together? Yeah, all of the speakers and the audience come here, and we can have a group photo. Yeah.